Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You are leading edge fiends, you know. Out here on the leading edge, where contrast is at its most extreme, where desire is inspired, you feel some inspired desire? You recognize the fresh feeling of new desire? New desire is best. Old desire is stale. Well, let us put it this way. If there are things you have been wanting that, because of your level of resistance, have not yet manifested, then that desire does not feel so fresh. That desire feels like hope or disappointment sometimes. I want this thing that is not coming, you say. When you were little and you got an idea about something, it came so easily. But as you spend time noticing things that don't happen quickly, or noticing things that you've wanted that aren't coming, then you developed whole cultures that revolve around explaining why things that you want don't happen. You explain that you weren't born under the right star, or that you weren't born in the right economic time, or you weren't born to the right parents or under the right circumstances. And when you really get desperate to explain why something that you want is not happening, you blame it on a past life. You find ways of explaining why things that you have wanted that have not come. And we want you to no longer accept that as an alternative way of thinking, because when you look at something that you desire and you notice that it has not yet occurred, and you talk about it not coming, and you start counting how long you've wanted it and how long it has not come, and then, and this is the big thing that many of you do, you begin explaining to yourself and others why it is taking so long in coming. What happens, without even meaning to, usually without even knowing you're doing it, you begin developing vibrational patterns that match the absence of your desire, rather than vibrational patterns that match your desire. And then what happens is, as your day-to-day conversation, your day-to-day thinking, your day-to-day feeling, your mood, your attitude, the way you feel about it, as it begins to be more about the absence of it than about the presence of it, then what happens when you do find some freakish moment when you are actually talking about your desire? The desire does not feel good to you because it activates discord in your pattern. That's why we're wanting you to think in terms of the fresh feeling of desire. So we'll put it to you very bluntly. If there's something you want and it doesn't feel good when you think about it or speak about it, don't think about it or speak about it, because every time you do, from that feeling place that does not feel good, you do not enhance your experience. You do not bring yourself closer to the vibrational allowing of it. It's better in those cases to then talk about things that do make you feel good. And we've noticed as we watch you that usually, not always, but usually, when there's something that you've been wanting for a while and it has not come to you yet, and you are in those patterns of discouragement or feelings of hopefulness, but more pessimistic than optimistic, what we've noticed is that if you will become very general in your conversation about it, you usually offer less resistance than when you try to become very specific. So here is a good rule of thumb. Be specific about those things that feel good when you think about them, and be general when you think about those desires that don't feel so good. And little by little, you'll begin to clean up the vibrational pattern around the things that are important to you, and you will become more in the place of allowing more of the things that you're wanting in your experience. So, you get the sense of this, don't you? In time past, we've said to you, when you want something, when you have a desire, and when you believe that desire, then you are in utter alignment and it happens quickly. So we were talking about beliefs, we were talking about desires, but today we would like to talk about thoughts. Instead of calling the thought a belief or the thought a desire, we would just like to call it a thought. Well, really, we would like to call it a vibration. Rather than talking about desire and belief, we would like to talk about thought. We would like to talk about vibration. Well, really, rather than talking about desires and beliefs that are all thoughts, that are all vibrations, what we'd really like to talk about is emotion. Well, really, rather than talking about desires and beliefs that are all thoughts, that are all vibrationally based, that evoke a feeling or emotion from you, what we really want to talk about is the emotional scale that lets you know the vibrational frequency of every thought, whether it is a desire or a belief. Because when you become aware of your own vibrational frequency, then and only then can you deliberately guide your own experience, because this is a vibrational universe. You are not creating through your action. You do not create through your words. You are constantly emitting a signal which is being answered by all that is, by universal forces. So if you are beating the drum, you have this habit of thought, you have this belief, you have these words that you speak, you have this observation that you offer, and you notice that you don't have enough money, and you notice that you don't like not having enough money. And you're talking about not having enough money. What we want you to begin to do is to notice first and foremost the way it feels when you focus upon not having enough money, because it is only through guiding the way you feel that you will be able to find the vibration that causes you to offer a signal that equals your point of attraction, which law of attraction answers, which equals the life experience that you live. What we've noticed as we watch so many of you working at deliberately creating your own experience is that you get lost in the complexity and the debate over the appropriateness of words. You get lost in the semantics, or you get lost in the ideas. For example, very often you think that you're talking about health when you're actually offering a vibration about illness. When you watch your television, even for an hour, there are endless impressions that are given to you that, if you are paying attention to what they are saying at all, are activating feelings of vulnerability within you. Even though the commercial is saying words like, this will keep you well, this will make your life better, this is what you need, ask your doctor about this. So the words sound scientifically based, they sound objective, they sound intelligent, they sound factual, they sound important, but they evoke feelings of vulnerability within you often, which means they are producing a vibration within you that is not conducive to the well-being that their words imply. So it turns out the only way that you know whether what you're observing, what you're remembering, what you're imagining, what you are speaking, what you are focusing on, the only way that you know what you are emanating vibrationally, the only way you know whether what you are emanating vibrationally is serving you, not them, you or not, is by the way it feels during that focus. And if it feels good, fixate on it. Write it down. Beat the drum of it. Tell others. Record it. Play it often. Become a vibrational match with anything that makes your heart sing or makes your spirit soar, because those things that make you feel good mean that as you focus upon it, you are releasing resistance and well-being is yours. Now, of course, there's a very important premise that you have to understand before any of that makes sense. And we'll speak it to you again and again. We never stop speaking it. It is so important. You knew it when you came forth. You know it from your non-physical perspective. It's who you are. It's what you know. There is only a source of wellness. There is only a source of well-being. Only goodness flows. There is not God or good and evil. There is only a stream of well-being that flows, which you allow or you do not allow. But only a stream of well-being flows. You never walk into a room and look for a dark switch. You know there is not a switch that you flip that will cause an inky, misty darkness to come from some source, some big black blob somewhere that brings darkness. You know that. You understand that you resist the light. And all that illness is a pinching off of wellness, and all the confusion is a pinching off of clarity, and all that poverty is a pinching off of abundance, and all that feeling bad is a pinching off of feeling good. When you take a cork and throw it into a body of water, it floats. You can hold it under the water. Holding a cork down is like negative emotion, but when you let go of it, it goes right back up. And what we are saying to you is, it is natural for you to feel good. It is natural for your vibration to be high. It is unnatural for you to feel bad, and it is unnatural for you to introduce thoughts of resistance which cause you to not allow the well-being that would be there otherwise. Many times people will say, oh, you should not pay attention to the way you feel. That is such a selfish approach. And what they really mean is, you should pay attention to how I feel. Equally selfish. So we understand why everyone wants to feel good. It's natural that you feel good. It's who you are. It's what you intended as you came forth. It's the natural state of who you are. In fact, we have never seen any of you hold any desire ever, whether it is a material object, a relationship, a circumstance, an event. Material objects, dollars. We've never seen anyone want anything that was for any other reason that you believe in the wanting or having of it, in the receiving of it, that you will feel better. It is this natural, basic instinct. And we have to say to you, oh, this universe is so magnificently planned, plotted, applied, because every consciousness, even the cells in your body, every consciousness, when experiencing circumstances, and every consciousness does, even the one-celled amoeba in the ocean is having a full-blown creative experience. Every consciousness, from its point of perceiving, offers vibrational preferences which are answered by source. Do you hear how good that is? Talk about a grassroots movement. Every point of consciousness, precious and adored and blessed, is answered, which means the whole is thriving. When you understand that there is no competition for source, that there is enough for every desire, and that, in fact, the source stream which feeds the desire expands proportionately to the asking, then you never worry about being in competition with anyone. You never worry about somebody getting your share of the pie. You never worry about there not being enough pie. What you do is let your circumstances and surroundings evoke within you your personal desire, and you understand that source is answering it every single time. So think about what a perfect plan that is. If every point of consciousness gets to, from its personal perspective, gets to have an experience which causes an automatic rocket of desire. In other words, whenever you know what you don't want, you automatically know what you do want, whether you're able to speak it or not. Your evolution of your species and of all of the species and of this planet and of all that is continue to evolve in response to leading edge beings like you who are having experiences and then are concluding, whether you verbalize it or not, preferences or desires. And when you radiate those desires, they are answered.